Hello and welcome to the hello and welcome to the Grand Open in Berlin 2017.
Welcome.
I'm here with René Brain,
Also known as Viktor Trautwein.
exactly,
Yeah.
and myself, Robin Bachhoffner. We're going to start with round two. Maybe just a little announcement in the beginning. You want to do it concerning circuit break?
Yeah, Circuit Break is sadly not allowed for this tournament because we had some delivering issues regarding the set, especially the German product was sent out pretty late, so we couldn't guarantee for all the players to have the cards ready for this tournament, so we had to make the set for this tournament sadly illegal.
It's unfortunate, but well, we will still have 178 players today here. And we're going to start now with round two with Jens Eckhart and his Infernoid deck against.
And Max Frövel with his Pendulum Magician deck.
Okay, so let's go to the game.
Oh, they already started.
Okay, so we see on Jens' side, he
Test
probably started
Fragrance.
with Anti-Spell Fragrance and Scapegoats.
Yeah, and Max just normal summon his double iris. I presume he just tagged into one of the scapegoat tokens he flipped over. So Jens is starting with some link summons. We don't even yeah right now we don't see which deck he's playing. I already told you that it's Infernoid. So he special summons a Harma deck.
Exactly, which can destroy monster on the field. However, he can't attack this turn. For those of you that aren't that familiar with the Infernoid deck, it's basically they have three different kind of monsters. Besides the tuner Decatron, um, every Infernoid can only get special summoned by banishing other Infernoid monsters, and they all have like a DD Crow-like effect. The small ones just in your opponent's turns, the big ones in both turns. And as we can see now, Jens is pushing really hard for the damage, especially with his Anti-Spell Fragrance. Max can't play this, can basically play this game.
Interesting that he's how many anti-spell fragrances is he playing in the main deck?
I think he's playing 2 in a 60 card deck.
Wow, that's a lucky draw then for this beginning. Oh, normaling the poison.
But there's the out for Anti-Spell Fragrance, as the I think it's a Toxic Magician. Whenever it gets destroyed, it can destroy a face-up card on the field.
So I think they're discussing something.
So Max activated the scales with Oath Magician and Dragon Blackfang. And Jens has the Twin Twister.
He chains Wavering Eyes to it, which is a good counter.
Well, he still he recovers one of the scales, so I'm assuming that he still has other Pendulum monsters in hand.
One of the cards is the Time Pendulum Graph, because he has searched it last turn with Double Iris when she was destroyed by battle. So maximum one card is left that we maybe don't know, I think. Because as far as I saw,
he
the
has
second
3
one
cards in hand.
yeah, the other one is I think a spell. It might be the other Pendulum Graph, the Star Pendulum Graph.
Oh, would be a little bit unfortunate. Well, depends. If he has a scale, it's still possible to come back into the game because Jens doesn't have that many Infernoid monsters to continue, and now basically has no hand and just a grave. I think that's something particularly good concerning Infernoid, that your graveyard is like basically your second hand.
Yes. So he went for Wisdom Eye and
He has a Skullcrot Joker.
In the scale, yeah. Which is not even a bad scale for this deck, because you can still Pendulum summon all magicians and all performable monsters if you have any to Pendulum summon. And the only card which you are like, yeah, stopping from getting Pendulum summoned is usually the Astrograph Sorcerer, but you usually don't want to Pendulum summon him anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so he had in hand still a Harmonizing Magician, so he's in a really good spot.
Yeah. We might see some synchro plays here now.
And I think in the graveyard of Jens there's not even an Infernoid monster, so he's basically left with just a Patrolea at this point.
Yeah, but Jens is known to rip some nice top decks. We saw it in Cologne last time. So I think Jens is checking what it is doing.
For the question of the
Mega Mind Freak.
Max is basically putting his extra deck on the right side, so it looks like it was in the graveyard, but it's actually the extra deck there.
Yeah, the people are actually asking why it's like the entire image is like inverted.
Okay. I see.
Yeah, but it would be more helpful to put the extra deck cards, which are going face up to the extra deck, also onto the face down extra deck cards, which is more usual and common.
Yeah.
So he's going for clearing the Supreme Dragon variant.
Which I think destroys all special monsters on your opponent's side of the field.
Yes. And I think when it's getting attacked by a monster which is, I think, level of 5 or higher, then he can destroy it and like do burn damage or something like that.
So yeah, so we have Jens on his lonely card in hand, and he's just passing. I mean, that's something that changed. Okay, so
Didn't he normal summon the Poison Magician in this turn?
it's already the next turn.
Ah, it's the next turn. Okay.
Max just passed.
Okay. You mean Jens?
Jens, yeah, my bad. That's something particular which is which changed a lot for Pendulum decks in general. The new rule that you have like just this one extra deck spot, so it's getting pretty difficult to really play after you use your extra deck slot. For example, like for the Supreme King Dragon Clearing,
Yeah.
for example, just because basically your extra deck isn't an additional resource anymore. So that's why a lot of the Magician players are playing stuff like Omega to free up the extra deck.
So he's going for the OTK here now.
Exactly. Targeting Decal Talker.
So he can attack twice.
That's it.
And that's it. Okay, that's pretty interesting, because he had like the major out first turn with Anti-Spare Fragrance, but wasn't able to maintain his advantage because of that one Poison Magician. So let's see, what can they side against each other?
I mean, it would be interesting to know if Max already had the poison in hand and just wait like one turn, because Infernoid isn't that known to do the big OTK pushes. To just like letting Jens summoning a lot of throwing a lot of resources into the game just to capitalize on that would be actually interesting.
I think Max doesn't have like anything to side against Jens. Most of the stuff is either against like extra deck based decks like Dimensional Barriers, back row removal, which is not necessary. He does not play Machines for system downs. Denko Stackers is against back row. Pendulum Storm and Pendulum Holder, two interesting side deck cards, but not the choice here for him. I would say I think he will not side maybe the Cosmic Cyclones against
Anti-spell fragrance, yeah.
against anti-spell fragrance. Maybe the Zephion if he wants to. But I don't think if Denko Sekka, I don't know. Let's see. What does Jens has in his side deck?
For Jens, we have the Ash Blossoms, which could get in handy. Probably if he's going to start, they're not that great. What would be the third Twin Twister and the third Anti-Spell Fragrance, for sure. And also 3 Solemn Strike and 3 Dimensional Barrier, so he's really good prepared
Oh yeah, for
for
going.
the Pendulum matchup.
Yes.
Not
Let's
sure
see.
if he's afraid of the deck or if he sees it as his worst matchup. Because if I have a look on it, it doesn't look like he's that prepared for Dracos, for example, in his side deck. Yeah, but it will be interesting for sure, because I'm pretty sure Jens is starting again.
Yeah, let's hope his 5 cards will be great for this matchup. I haven't seen Infernoid in quite a while.
Yeah, exactly. So for this weekend, we discussed it already a little bit before the stream. I'm not sure what could we expect from the weekend itself. I mean, a lot of players are already planning before for the Spiral and stuff like that, but it's still, I think, kind of interesting format that we have after this pretty long Zodiac format.
Yeah.
Now with 3 big decks. But we will get to it a little bit later on. As Jens is starting with a Decathlon,
And
which
gets
get Ash.
Which gets ashed, yes. And he passes the turn directly. So he has no floodgates in his hand, I presume. Except maybe for hand traps.
Okay, so we have the Star Pendulum Graph on Max's side. So he has... Okay, so the Wavering Eyes. No Ash around. Okay, so... Yeah. Doesn't look that good at all for Jens.
Oh yes. Oh, he's Ghost Ogering the Pendulum Graph. But the chain have not resolved now, so he can't chain the Ghost Ogre. He needs to first let Wavering Eyes resolve. Then he can build his chains now, so that, yeah. Maybe he's not even able to destroy it.
Shouldn't be possible to use the go. It depends basically how Max is building the chain.
I think now he would change it the way so that Pendulum Graph is not affected by Ghost Ogre.
Yeah.
He has, I think, two Infernoids, a Level Eater and the Ghost Ogre in his hand. Is this another? Is it Lumina or
I don't know, it's a Deviati, I guess.
Deviati?
So again, not the hand isn't that great on Jens' side.
Actually, someone in the chat already mentions Graph is a mandatory effect, so it has to go to Chaining 1, so he
Okay.
does not even need to choose it. Thanks to this Wedwin. So Jens is in a really difficult situation now.
And I think it's a little bit unfortunate for Jens that he showed his Ghost Logger from hand, because it gives Max a little bit additional information, because otherwise he would have gone with Wisdom Eye, surely, in my opinion.
Interestingly, I think all the other cards in his hand are not pendulum monsters, so he's not OTKing this turn, so Jens is getting another turn to do something.
I mean, he's still in a pretty tough spot.
Yes.
Already, because the scales are full. He knows that Max has a trap card. So I think he's in a position where he needs to draw something particular to get back into the game, like a third Infernoid maybe for Deviati, or
Oh, 2 set cards as well. He drew the
Void
Void Feast.
doesn't help at all at this point.
The Decathlon is still a good card, but depending if the opponent has the trap to stop him, then I think his turn is over again.
I he's actually now in. If I would be Jens, I think sending Patrulea.
He's sending
Okay,
Saitsamas, isn't it?
that's interesting. Yeah. Um,
Saitsamas is the one which is banishing a card after he battled, yes? Or when he battles.
at the end of the battle phase.
In
Yeah.
the end of the battle phase.
Okay, that's interesting what he's doing now. He's using the effect to banish the Ash and then banishing the two to summoning Saitsamas.
Ah, okay.
Not sure if I like this play, to be honest. Okay, yeah, so he's flipping up the trap card and using immediately his effect, so he can't ghost over it. Think he tried to play around the ghost ogre. He tried to use ghost ogre on the trap. But unfortunately, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So his double iris will trigger. I presume he will target it itself to destroy it. Yeah.
Okay, so he's going to search with
He's
Double
asking for
ice punch.
responses, I think. If he's getting ashed or something on it.
well, I think at this point it's over the game because he's going to search probably Harmonizing Magician, which special summons another. It's a Wisdom Eye, I guess. Looks like that.
I'm not sure, but for White Feast to activate it, you need to send a continuous spell to the graveyard or something.
Void spell or trap card.
Okay, so even this card is not live anymore.
So now it was possible to use the Ghost Ogre, but I think it's enough if Max is just like Pendulum Summoning the one ones from the extra deck, normal summoning Wisdom Eye and go for game at this point. I mean, the draw of Jens was pretty awkward also for this game. Even if the first deck turn would have resolved, like there was like no real chance.
Too
to win
many
this game.
bricks in his hand. He has one Infernape which needs 3 banishments, then a Level Eater which is doing absolutely nothing.
I mean, I like the idea of Level Eater that you have like this free resource to tribute the whole time, which is pretty cool. Okay, there's another Wavering Eyes on Max side. Also interesting, because I personally don't like Wavering Eyes outside of the mirror match or against other Pendulum decks. Just basically because I think if you're just looking at the engine of Pendulum Magicians, it's really strong, if not the best deck around. And if you have like this small brick hands, Wearing Ice is always a part of it when you can't do that much. So could be something interesting to ask Max what he's thinking about, or what his reasons are to hold Wearing Ice in the main deck.
I think he's anticipating a lot of mirror matches. This is why he already chose to
Yeah.
have it in the main deck directly.
Okay, yeah, and now he's showing his opening hand.
And it's over. That was a really quick match. There was
Exactly. So Max Frövel is taking it with a
2-1.
pretty fast 2-0 over Jens Eckert's Infernoid.
There we see what he cited, I think.
Yeah, he's showing it. Well, what do we, or what are like the conclusions out of this game or this match? Do we have any particular conclusions?
One conclusion might be that Anti-Spare Fragrance is not an auto win against this deck, because you
Not
have
anymore, yeah.
you have the purple Poison Magician, which can always